Hello, guys and gals and non-binary pals. Thank you all for stopping by. And I have another deck tech here for you today. We have a Twitch submission that was the winner of our Tournament of Power for June. We have Icaria from SDSakuragi. And before I get too much into that, I do want to give a big shout out to all the wonderful people that gave positive comments and feedback on my last video, which had kind of a really heavy edited skit kind of intro to it, a little bit of a comedy thing. I'm going to be doing more of that because of the big positive response that we got. I used to do a little bit more of those, but I haven't been able to in the last little while. I am going to keep it separate from this video this time, though. So I am actually uploading another skit at the same time, so you can go ahead and check that video out as well, and I'd really appreciate it. In any case, we're going to get jumping right on into this. I'm going to combine both the deck tech and the matches today because there's not a lot of deck tech to go over since this isn't entirely my list. I don't have like the exact reasons why some things can be included, although I can give you a general idea, and I think that this deck has been done before. It's not one of the main decks that's around right now though, because the deck that I've really been seeing is just straight Recano. This deck is a little bit different, so this one is actually obviously going to be running a little bit of blue as well, so we're running Peaks and Icarias, thus the name, easy peasy. So we've got 4 Howling Peaks, we've got Stormhalt Knife and Auric Runehammer as removal, and we have Defiance and Torch and Vanquish and Hailstorm and Harsh Rule. So you can tell, like, just a really heavy control style deck, lots of sights, lots of attachments, tons of spells, 26 spells, bunch of removal, bunch of draw spells like Seek Power and Strategize, stuff that either just fixes and kind of thins our deck, or just straight draw, and then just, like I said, lots and lots and lots of board sweeper style removal and regular style removal with Torch and Vanquish. Then the rest of the deck is going to be trying to get value off of Zoe of the Endless Hoard, so kind of your very traditional control strategy. So most of the time you don't really play Zoe. What you do is you use Rime Conclave Smuggler or Red Canyon Smuggler to toss it into your market, and then you use another Red Canyon Smuggler later to draw it back out over and over and over, getting the treasure troves each time so that you're able to get things out of your market and still also be able to draw cards. So that's a huge little power play that you can do. It's a lot of extra value that you get out of your cards. Icaria just being one of the best finishers in the game right now. Once it was unnerfed back to 7, it's absolutely insane still. It's a lot of damage, and if you ever draw the unit, then the game's almost for sure over. There is the problem of you have to draw the unit. That can definitely be an issue, but obviously we also have things like Howling Peak that can mirror image it, and a lot of people will just scoop when they see it anyways, so it's just a scary card to see in general. So that's kind of the deck that we have. We've got a couple of things in the market, like Boar in case we run up against a lot of relics, Pristine Light, which is really disgusting when you manage to attack in and you've got like 2 smugglers on the field, then you blow up the board, like you attack in, let them kill these, then blow up the board with Pristine Light and immediately get them back again, be able to remarket things. A lot of people will tend to block, silly enough, and you can just get a lot of value out of that. We have a Rizon in the market as well, so once we've got a bunch of these spells in, you can pull a Rizon out and just do some damage that way. It's really good with Howling Peak, obviously. And then another board sweeper in End of the Story. And that's the build. So we've got a whole bunch of board sweepers, as you can tell. I mean, we're running 7 main deck, and then another 2 in the market, and lots of merchants. It's a really cool control deck overall. It's done a lot of winning, and congratulations to SD for winning the full Tournament of Power on it. Alright, let's go ahead and do some matches. Round 1, starting off with a very bad draw, so we're just going to throw that one back. Being unable to play anything is kind of a problem. I think I actually keep this, though. We have the Zoe, which is not going to be super useful for a little while, but like Red Canyon Smuggler works with it. We've got the card draw here. And of course, because of the Zoe, we also have the treasure trove. So we're going to be able to draw at least 3 different cards that we're going to be able to look at. And that's assuming that we don't just hit a power card anyways. Like if we hit a fire, then we can play every card in our hand except for Hailstorm. And that seems pretty good.
Tempered by the hottest
Looks like we've got a little bit of an aggro deck here. And thankfully we top decked fire. Do I want to keep Defiance? Defiance is good, but if they're playing this, then they're likely going to have things like Crimson Firemaw, And Defiance isn't necessarily going to kill that, so I think I actually bottom it. I'm going to just go ahead and torch that, though. We don't want any of their dragons to be cheaper. I might have wanted to wait. We'll have Hailstorm later, but I don't mind this. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are less dragons, more aggro. I'm going to go ahead and Treasure Trove, and I can decide if I want to torch or not. And my idea is probably not, since I can Hailstorm. Kind of sad that I wasted the first torch, but I expected them to be not really doing a whole lot here unless it was like another Dragonsmith.
Awaiting your
Order of the Spire. Okay, so they've just got a lot of random stuff. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. I haven't been playing as much Eternal right now, so we are still in just Gold 1, because I haven't played a ton of matches this month.
Awaiting your command.
So maybe we're just against some real wild brews here, which is kind of awesome, actually. And do they have the finest hour to save it? They do not. So I'd imagine that's a torch. Odds are... let's go ahead and strategize first. I don't know if I want Smuggler yet. Another Smuggler. Ooh. Bunch of really good things here. I think I actually put Icaria on the bottom, because I can use the Rime Conclave to trade in the Zoe, and then buy back the Zoe with Red Canyon. And throw away the Defiance. We've still got Harsh Rule. We'll get the extra Justice, because in the market, thankfully, we have a banner. Really good design of this deck is actually having a banner in the market, because this deck is really hard on your power base. And I've needed to use that a lot. So we're going to go ahead and... Rime Conclave, straight in Zoe, grab the banner. We did just get the Seek Power, but I think that's okay, so... I could actually trade Seek Power right now for it. I feel like I'm going to want a Harsh Rule, though, so I might wait and just get another Justice here. I don't want to put anything else on the board that I'm about to Harsh Rule. That doesn't seem like it's particularly valuable to me. Surprised their opponent didn't torch that, though. What else could it have been? It wasn't torch. It's not finest hour. It could be a sharpened reflexes. Certainly possible. I'm gonna see if I can draw out a torch now. Do I play a Smuggler then? I guess so. Could go for the Pristine Light. I think that I just want to go for the Zoe. I'd like to draw another card. I'm close to playing Zoe. Very, very close. Kind of sad that I had to bottom that Icaria, but at the time it made sense. I only had one Justice. That was a lot of Defiance. Which, Defiance is an absolutely insane card. It's really, really good. Hyper punishes aggro. It's a lot less useful on a board with just a Crimson Fire. Sky Terror kills though, which is fun. Since it was made cheaper because of the Fire Maw, that's nice. Don't know if that means that I want to wait another turn or not. I mean, currently... Yeah, I'm thinking that we just need to Harsh Rule this. I don't want them making more things cheaper with Crimson. It probably doesn't matter too much if things are cheaper because they don't have a lot of cards left in hand and they already have 6 power, so the odds of them actually getting extra things on the board from it are pretty low. Blocks. I could just Harsh Rule. I could also use the Defiance now since we are just waiting. But they're going to have something else cheap thanks to the Crimson Fire Maw already. So I think it's safe to assume that I get to Defiance here in a minute anyways. Another Fire Maw. I am not incorrect. Power card there is actually pretty good for us, because that lets us hold up the Defiance. Even if this Zoe goes away, I can still eat the Crimson Fire Maw. We're going to need to draw something pretty good, though. Shingane Forge. Hello. So we'll block. And I'm going to play a little bit of chicken here. They're not even hovering over their hand. So, alright. I don't want to risk it. I can't risk it. I know they have something, so I mean, it's not even really a risk. We just know that it's going to happen. And I'm pretty sure they might just wait until post-combat was what it was. I'm going to use all of this, so we can draw a bunch of cards afterwards. I don't need to draw cards this turn, our opponent's not doing anything. So just maximizing it seemed to make sense.
Awaiting your command.
Order of the Spider. You got it. Do they have a power card? Because that would actually get it past Hailstorm. They do not. No, I should have done this post-combat. That was a punt. Because we know that they have a torch. Like, it's got to be a torch, maybe a char. Yeah, it's a torch. So, I mean, that's obviously going to go through. I could have dealt him with a 6-star torch, so that was really stupid. Bit of a mistake. Throw back this and go ahead and get Rise on.
Finest weapons in Icaria.
I believe that that is not a bad idea. As you can tell, this deck is pretty competitive, so unlike a lot of the lists that I run here that are kind of whack, this one's just sick. This one's a really solid deck. So they'll put a weapon on it, and then I get to Rise on it down and attack for 4. I should have them at 2 health here, but my mistake. Oops.
In Icaria's name, you will be judged!
Yeah, we've got them really, really on the ropes. Especially with Howling Peak here. And GG. Very solid start to this control deck. Round 2, this hand looks kind of like our first hand did in the last one, in that it's hot garbage. Not having any Primal and just kind of not really having any spells that actually matter are not something I want to do. There was no card draw, there was no scouting from Crest, so there wasn't a lot of chances for us to improve that hand. And if we drew something with Primal requirements, then we were in a lot of trouble. So this hand looks much better. A little bit heavy on the power, but we've got the Strategize and we have double Scout to dig around it, so not really a problem for us. For now, we're going to play Seat because we'd like to Strategize. We can Crest and Strategize again next turn. Oh wow, yeah, that's great. I'm going to put Vanquish on the bottom, I think. I'm going to need all this power is the thing. I mean, maybe I could get rid of Primal since I really need to get Justice and Fire. Yeah, that's probably okay. So I'll do that. And then next turn, we go Strategize, and then Crest so we can dig 3 cards deep. I like doing it that way. You can go ahead and play Crest first to scout. The problem is that I don't really like doing that because if you say... It's fine if it's a card that you don't want. Because then it's kind of nice. There's a bit of an advantage in that, oh wow, now you might get a card that you do want immediately. So there is that advantage to scouting before drawing with Strategize. The downside is, though, that if you scout and it's a card that you want to keep, then you end up strategizing and you look at 2 cards, right? Basically, you scout, put it back on top, and then look at that same card and another card. If you do the draw first, you draw 2 cards, and then you get to scout the 3rd card. So you get to dig a little bit deeper into your deck and see what's going on. And this aside is brought to you by my slow-playing opponent. Alright, they are back. Go ahead and Strategize. After all of that, I almost played Crest immediately because I was just zoned in on it. I'm going to get rid of Hailstorm because that seems like not a thing we have to worry about right now, based on what our opponent's doing. Maybe I'm wrong. That's not the worst because it does draw us a power. It does draw us the treasure trove. We can go ahead and get the power out of the market with it. I think that's okay. I'd not mind another power card here in a minute. Alright, our opponent came back. They've played a Minotaur, which we have a good answer for. A couple of good answers, in fact. I'm going to go ahead and treasure trove into Vanquish here, I think. If they'll let us. Okay, cool. Another power was good. Would have definitely been better if it was fire, but I can't complain too much. At least it's getting us to the higher costs that we need a little bit. And we do have the fixing
You're
in the markets, though.
now.
Alright, it looks like our opponent might start actually playing the game again, which is real awesome. I would like to play. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and... You know...
Finest weapons in Lyria.
I think it's just Smuggler. Go ahead and get the power card and pass. We need one fire, and then we've got Icaria mana online, which is pretty sick. In the meantime, we can't really Defiance that. It'll just stun it. We can trade with it, which I don't mind, honestly. We've got the Runehammer to pick up other units here. I like this Minotaur deck, though. Gotta imagine they're playing things like Tavrod. I see.
Spare some coin.
Street Urchin. Yeah, alright. I've never liked Street Urchin myself, but it's fair enough. We could go for the Rhizon here, and I do like that quite a bit.
A potion for any occasion.
Slightly unfortunate that we don't get to... Get Vanquish. Yeah, I think Vanquish for Rhizon is correct. Alright, anyways. I'm a little sad that we don't get to get the Aegis on this, but what can you do? We are definitely stuck in that position. I've seen a lot of Street Urchins going around, and I'm not sure why. It's been a thing for a little while. A lot of pretty decent decks have just been running a bunch of Street Urchins. I didn't think that the card was that useful, but other people have been playing it a lot. It does draw you 2 cards eventually, I guess, if you're spending a lot of time and patience into it. But it just doesn't feel super impactful. In this deck, getting it with the Crown Watch, maybe just don't care if it's super impactful because it's just enough generated value. They could use it twice and pop Aegis and then draw a card off of us. They would lose it. So we'll just have to figure it out. Once our opponent figures out life.
You're in the crowd watch.
Okay, our opponent has decided to come back and play again at the very last second. Which, sure. I'll go ahead and pop that.
You will pay for your crimes.
Howling Peak. Interesting. We could gun down one of those. I could also just use Rhizon. And Rhizon into Howling Peak seems more interesting, because then I can get a mirror image on it, possibly.
In Icaria's name, you
A little
will
bit
be
greedier,
judged.
because they could very easily have removal. We'll have to see what our opponent has here. I mean, obviously they have some kind of a fast spell. I'm not sure what it would be, though. Like, what in their deck? What would fit? Finest Hour doesn't seem like it does. So what is it? Is it maybe, like, Excavate? It might be Excavate. I could definitely see Excavate being in that deck. Because they're trying to do a lot of Void Revenge shenanigans. So that might make sense. Keep on top. That's unfortunate for us. The big thing that we're worried about is if they kill Rhizon. I don't really care about anything else, honestly. If we can just get down Howling Peak, we're in awesome shape. It'll give lifesteal to Rhizon, then we can get a copy. Heck yeah. Alright, this is sweet. Take a little bit of damage here, but I want to get this down, this fire before I lay down Howling Peak. And now we get the copy. I can't really think of anything at fast speed.
In Icaria's name, you will be judged.
Just go right ahead with Rhizon. Nothing can really blow us out there. Next turn we get to blow up their 4/4. And just another little pause, I guess. Maybe it is Finest Hour. They're acting like they wanted to play it. Whew, this game is painfully slow. Sorry about that, but I'll edit it together to make it a little bit better. Ooh, wow, really, really early hit on that. Nice. Top 2 cards. Scouted it to the top. Kept it on there.
Come forth!
Well, they do have Life Speaker. That was kind of more what I was expecting out of their deck. Yeah, I will indeed block. It gets bigger because of the Oath Book, but it still is something that we can eat here. I imagine that this is a pump spell. It's gotta be. It's the only thing that makes sense. Whew, boy. Okay. Oh, it's Spiteful Strike. That's a thing. Huh. So now they can't protect it, though, which is interesting. Is it only when it attacks a player? Oh, it is only when it's a player. That's really interesting. Go ahead and gun that down. Let's murder that. Attack in. And then we'll go ahead and torch the 3/3s so they have no way to get in on our Howling Peak. And then we can start sliming Icarias here, and I don't think that they have a recovery from that. Okay, Dredger is not going to be good enough. That I can say almost for certain.
Play with fire.
Well, they do have a combat trick. I'll go ahead and do this first, see what they do. I imagine they have a pump spell. Yeah, okay. Kind of figured that would be the case, but now I get to know before it's actually a problem and we just slam Icaria into it. Or actually, wait, Icaria becomes bigger, so, you know,
or be
that's
cut
fine.
down.
Forgot about the Howling Peak. I always forget about the +2. So it's got a big enough butt that that's not going to matter. They can still block and gain some life. I would probably trade with Rhizon if I'm them. Because I don't know how they're going to leverage this into such a huge advantage, especially now that we've gotten Icaria on the field. No blocks. Alright. That is intriguing to me. Because it means they almost certainly have to have another pump spell. Otherwise, that doesn't make any sense. They can't get in on Howling Peak or me unless they have something like that. Maybe a double removal for Icaria, but that doesn't seem likely with 2 cards in their hand. And just the way that their deck is. Their deck doesn't seem to be a lot of removal-focused stuff. They can use things like Spiteful Strike to pop the Aegis on Icaria, though, so it's certainly possible. Who knows? Our opponent could have anything. With the speed at which they are playing, it could be a lot of stuff. Okay. We can block, because it's still a 5/7. Oh, great. And also, right. We both probably forgot about that again. Paladin Oathbook does not trigger unless it's enemy player. A thing that we just mentioned a moment ago. And that I immediately forgot again, because it seems so whack. It's really wild that doesn't work. Well, I could just murder that. Could also just play in a card. And win the game. I think we're going to go for win the game. This game has gone on long enough thanks to our opponent's play, so we're going to end it. Nice. Round 3, we had an exceptionally long round 2, and I'm going to keep this. We're on the draw, we've got a removal spell, we have Scout. I think that makes this okay. And we get a chance to see what our opponent is playing for colors and stuff here before we decide on playing Depleted or just scouting first turn. So we've got an idea of whether or not we want to hold up Torch. And Skycrag colors, let's hold up Torch. Our opponent certainly is. Oh no, do we have another slow player? Okay, hopefully not. Whew. Not looking forward to the editing on that last one. Second sight. It's could be something different. Maybe they're on, like, Diogo combo or something. There could be a lot of things they're repping here. I'm going to go ahead and Crest, because I still want to hold up the torch in case there's still a faster deck. Harsh Rule. Do I need a Harsh Rule right now? I'm going to keep it. I don't have any board wipes. Having one in the pocket, and I can always get rid of it with Strategize, I think is okay. I like the option, like I'm probably throwing back a power card here. Yeah. And then this gives me a little bit of... I probably should have thrown the Justice Sigil so I could get the Waystone online. Yeah, that was a mistake. I already had Crest of Glory here, so I actually have 3 and 3 for Fire and for Justice. I don't need a 4th Justice ever. Cauldron Cradle. Ooh, baby. Got something spicy. Defiance. That seems unnecessary based on what we're seeing right now. This Harsh Rule is kind of nice insurance against Cradle, although that's going to take a very long time to start happening. I've got to imagine Icaria's probably going to beat them up before then. I'd hope so, anyway. Get rid of the knife? Or just one of the Harsh Rules? I think a Harsh Rule is a better removal here. Removal from our hand, rather. Stormhalt Knife is something I can actually just play next turn. Torch us in the face. Still need 3 spells? Can they land 3 this turn? Certainly possible. Yeah, second sight. 2 more torches. They could also have, like, power, second sight, torch. Something like that. Or seek power, or a bunch of different 1-cost spells. Nothing from our dear opponent. I'm gonna go ahead and lay the knife. Lightning Strike, Torch. Could be Trailblaze, sure. And do they have the last spell? Not yet. Okay. So this is actually okay. If they can't just kill the Stormhalt Knife, they play a spell, get their dragon, I kill their dragon with the knife, and then I can just slam in with Icaria. That seems good for me. I like this deck. This is a cool idea. The problem with Cauldron Cradle decks that I always have, though, is what happens if you don't draw Cradle? And generally what I've found is the answer is, well, you die horribly.
Rise up.
Because the deck really revolves around that. I mean, the rest of it is things like card draw, which does make it easier to get to Cradle, but a lot of times you still take way too long to actually hit it. Getting it on, like, turn 3 or 4 here this game was super useful for them. It's actually making this an interesting match. You need to play 4 more spells. It's certainly possible that they can get that down in a turn. Not super likely, but it's definitely possible. Pop Aegis. Do they have double Static Bolt? Sick! Wow. And that is most of the spells they need, too. Oofa doofa. It's pretty sweet. Thin our deck a little bit. And
Rise
slam.
up or be cut down. Ha!
Now we just need to find our big old Zoe that we have here, apparently. Or just another Icaria. Oh man, I hope it's another Icaria. Because if the Icaria has +10 Warcry on it, it's not going to be able to be beaten by Skycrag. Whose main removal is going to be things like Static Bolts and Rock Slide and Mortar and, yeah, Hailstorm. Maybe they have Permafrost, but Permafrost doesn't touch Icaria. Things like Obliterate aren't going to deal with it either. Ooh, nice. Sick hit. I think I still need to just attack here. Not much I can do besides trade, unfortunately. With no other removal, it doesn't make sense. I can hold up the Harsh Rule for something else, and I just need to hope that I actually draw the unit. Or some more card draw or something. They've gotten a lot deeper into their deck than us, and they still have less power, which is generally a really bad sign. I.e., I'm flooding pretty hard, and I need to find some way out of this soon. That was a lot of card draw. Ooh, duh. Wow. They have hit some incredible draw spells here. It's gonna be a problem. We have that boar in the market, too. Oof, these torches. I'll just pass. I want to hold on to the Justice Sigil so I have something to trade into the market if I have to. Keep it on top. Sick. I mean, we have the Harsh Rule if they manage to get down a couple of dragons here. I can double torch one. Not that I necessarily want to do that. More power cards. Ooh, baby. Vanquish does get rid of one. I really just need to find the next unit, though. Or more card draw. I mean, basically anything. Something, anything useful. It'd be real cool. Yep. We're just gonna wait and let them do a little bit of this. Now that they're tapped out, we're gonna double torch that. Let them go ahead and get both cradles off next turn, I'm hoping, or soon, and then we can Harsh Rule that. Okay. Get the spell. Fair enough. Oof, duh. At least they've finally gotten some of their power cards. Yeah, this is rough. I'm gonna take that. Yeah. I was hoping they would draw another spell here, and that's actually a perfect spell, because it's pretty useless. Oh, man. Oh, baby, please, deck. The flood here is pretty insane. I mean, they're like 15 cards deeper than us and have the same power. That's rough. This is good.
Who says you can't play with fire?
Not amazing, but acceptable at least. Sick. Wow, just amazing. Hey, we got a card that does a thing. That's good. We could just bore down both of the things that they have. Could go for the Rise On, but I think that just double bore is the correct way to do this. Now their deck doesn't do a whole lot. They might have Permafrost, which would be really bad. It looks like we've got the win, though. Nice. Whew. GG's. Got close. Got really close. Really tight game last game. This hand, however, is unusable. Oh, I like this one. We've got the Hailstorm for early aggression. We've got Runehammer for, like, mid-range decks. And then Icaria is obviously just our best finisher, so not a bad place to start. Okay. Shakedown's obnoxious, but it might actually be better for us. Hailstorm's not necessarily super relevant here. Yeah, I need to keep the power card. Definitely. Gets us pretty close to Icaria. We'll have 2 and 2. The Hailstorm would have been pretty good, but, I mean, I'm not super upset about having Red Canyon Smuggler instead. Like, that's not a huge difference. Just kind of the way to look at how that turned out. Get rid of Vanquish. I think we're going to get rid of a Runehammer here instead. And then if we get the banner, then we have the power that we need for Icaria later on, and I think that makes sense. It's possible that we just want Rise On, but rather than play risky, I'm going to play safe here and just take the banner. And I might just trade. Yeah, I think that's safe.
Stone Scar isn't a place for the
And
weak-hearted.
the champion, huh? With that in mind, try and just Runehammer this out. Not a lot they could have had. It's possible that Spiteful Strike could have gone in there, which would have been a problem. Scared me for a second. I'm imagining this is a torch, though. Let's Dragon. Good one. But we have the Vanquish into Strategize, which is solid for us. And that torch isn't going to do a whole lot of good against Icaria that's coming down here soon. Before I play any power, I'm going to Strategize and see what happens. Ooh, boy. We've got some gas. We have 6 power in hand. This will get us the 7th. I think we can just get rid of the Fire Sigil then. Big Dragon. Unfortunately, Howling Peak can't get rid of that, so we're just gonna go ahead and pop it with a Harsh Rule. Not the most efficient Harsh Rule, but definitely something that I think is necessary. We can't let a 6/6 dragon keep beating us in the face.
The battlefield awaits!
And now we go ahead and gun that down. Torch isn't going to save that. I could have maybe just gone for the Caleb's and then had Defiance up. I don't mind this either, though. Like, this turn I was going to guarantee the
Who says you
Icaria.
can't play with fire?
Rise up or be
And we're
cut
setting
down.
up for Mirror Image Icaria next turn, which seems bad for our opponent. Torch. They might have the Desecrate. If they do, then it stops us from using the mirror. Yep, alright. We're still in pretty great shape, though. Defiance is fantastic against them. We still have the Rime Conclave. And Mirror Image doesn't go off, but that's okay. I can go ahead and get Rise on.
A potion for any occasion.
And I don't really need to worry about what power card it is. We're still just going to hold on to this in case we get another merchant and I just want to throw it away. We only need 8 specifically for so not a problem. How many do we have? It does have life.
In Icaria's name, you will be judged!
And we'll just hold. No reason to let them know that we don't have anything super relevant in our hand. And GG! 4-0. We might have that perfect run. Game 5, going for the perfect record. This does not seem like a hand that can do it, though. Unfortunately, nothing to play super early. Yeah, we have a treasure trove, but I'm not going to rely on only a treasure trove to get us there and need, like, 3 power cards ripped in a row to actually matter. That seems way too dicey. We need some kind of removal in that style of a hand, right? Like, you need some torches or something to replace some of the higher-end things, like double Stormhalt Knife. It's just way too slow. Great card, but you've got to have some kind of early interaction just in case your opponent is, oh, I don't know, Rakano aggro, possibly. We'll see what's going on over there in a moment, though. I'm going to have the Crest of Order first. I don't necessarily need to have this torch up. I'm going to keep Crest of Glory as well, because it lets us have Harsh Rule. So that unlocks all of our removal. I'm going to guess that they're a fairly fast Rakano deck. I haven't seen it yet today, and a lot of Rakano runs around.
Another
Yeah,
round.
here's Bullet
Chain.
Silver. And it doesn't stop me from torching this turn anyways, because now I can just Crest of Fury. Crest of Glory again. I mean, that does get me to 5. This is a tough choice. We do get some more Scout. Yeah, I'd like some pressure on them, but I think that this is okay. Because it'd be really bad if we missed the power to Harsh Rule. And I mean, it even sets me up where now I have enough for, like, every single spell, right? I get the triple justice, so I can play Icarias and everything. This seems to make enough sense. Another Torch. That I don't think I need. We have a lot of removal. I'd love to replace Torch with Vanquish, but I can't do that, right? I don't get my choice of having one or the other. Hailstorm. That's not bad. Another Torch. No, I'd prefer not. We have more than enough removal at this point. I can just Defiance that out of the way. I might just wait and try and Hailstorm or Harsh Rule, though. I think I'll just take it. Yeah, nothing I could do about that anyways. Not unless I'd kept the Torch, and I don't necessarily think that was the correct decision. Sadidi is gross. We really needed to have another unit here to do some pressure. It's possible that I just wanted to Vanquish and Hailstorm or something instead, or Defiance. Guess we'll find out. I think we can still beat the curse, honestly. We still have Boar to find as well, so we can get rid of it that way. The finest weapons. I'm gonna let them possibly go for a Deep Forge plate or something here, and hold up Defiance instead. This is rough, though. We're in a lot of trouble, obviously. Okay, did not go for the market card yet. I'll go ahead and define that anyways.
You will pay for your crimes!
We need, like, Howling Peak to hit them off of this. We need Icaria. We need any of our smugglers. There's a lot of things that we could use here that'd be real good. But, boy, we gotta actually hit them first, huh? Yep, this might be that loss. Because this is super unfortunate. I think that we could have beaten the curse, but man, just kind of a rough draw for us. I don't feel like Sadidi is unbeatable by any means, but I just... non-power would be real cool. Something that does a thing. Pop the Aegis later. In the meantime, I actually think that I just need to kill that, but there's not a lot that we can do here. This game is very over. We needed to draw any kind of a unit a long time ago. Even a site like Howling Peak would have dug us a little bit and stopped them from drawing. But yeah, we just didn't draw any units, so not much we can do about that. A little bit of an unfortunate game. Good deck. I mean, Sadidi Rakano is definitely a thing that's been going around. Ah! Did you know that our opponent had us extra dead? Okay. I mean, sure, I guess. We realized that they had beaten us. But I guess that now we know that we've been extra beat. A little bit of unnecessary bad manners at the end there to try and make us feel bad, I guess. But hey, that's a thing that some people like to do. And we had a blast. This deck did really, really well. A little bit of a tough draw at the back end there, but man, really solid 4-1 anyways. And I definitely like this deck. It was, unlike a lot of the decks that we get submitted in the Tournament of Power, I think this one is actually pretty competitive. I don't know that it's the best deck or anything like that. I wouldn't say that. But this is definitely a deck that can get you to Masters. Like, this deck is quite solid. It's got a lot of power in it. A lot of great control cards. And, I mean, the finishers of Icaria and Zoe are still hard to match. I mean, they're just absolutely fantastic. So, really fun deck here to play. And thank you a whole bunch for sending in all of the decks this month. Big congratulations to SDSakuragi for sending off this deck and winning the whole Tournament of Power. They will in fact be receiving a special care package from my wonderful sponsor, inkgaming.com. You can check them out down below. There's lots of cool gaming gear and mouse pads and things like that. I have some hoodies and some shirts and mouse pads all through Ink Gaming. You can check them out and get a discount by using my code Ilyon12, and it helps me out a whole bunch. They've been fantastic to work with. Their stuff is really high quality. I absolutely love their products. They're amazing. I don't say that about many companies. I don't generally do this, but man, Ink Gaming has been really, really good to me, and they're just kind of awesome. So I will see you next week. Remember to check out some some of my new skits and all of my new Dota Underlord stuff as well, because we've been putting up a whole bunch of highlights for that. I've been really enjoying it. It's kind of like Draft in a card game, and I certainly appreciate that side of the auto chess genre. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, see some of the games, and learn a little bit, you can subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you around.